All right, Aries, thanks for tuning in to your October of 2014 horoscope. My name is Athen, and this is the eclipse season. Now, we had the last eclipses back in April. So we always want to follow the eclipses as they take place because one leads to the next, and they kind of tell a story. And so think back to April. A lot of us had some very major transformations, major changes back in April. And they're coming to a sort of culmination this month, okay? Very powerful culmination. And for you, it's happening in your 12th house. Something will culminate there. That's where the lunar eclipse is happening, which holds the energy of the full moon. And it has to do with your spirituality, or your surrendering, or your connection to source. Something very deep, perhaps very personal. Something that is for you and for you only. It's 12th house is really, it's this surrendering process. There's a gem, something inside of you that is changing, and you may not even notice it. That's the thing of the 12th house. But if you bring conscious awareness, you certainly can. Pay attention to your dreams this month. There can be a lot of information channeled through your dreams. Journaling, automatic writing, anything to help bring more conscious awareness to what you might call your subconscious or your very deep spiritual core, okay, and your connection to all that is. Whatever that is, it's going to be creating very powerful changes for you this month. I almost feel like you're coming into a new spiritual transformation, okay? And what it's changing and what's going to come from this is relationship related. Now, a lot of you have been putting in a lot of work in relationships, maturity, determination. You've had Mars transiting there for a while. Saturn is still in there. So learning that maturity in some way and strengthen relationships. And that is going to play somewhat of a role. But what's really indicating all of this is the fact that the solar eclipse is going to be in that 7th house later on in the month, on the 23rd. And this is a new beginning. It holds the energy of the new moon. And interestingly, too, Mercury is going retrograde in that sign, in that house for you, earlier in the month on the 4th. So here's what I think is going to happen. I think the sort of timeline here is early in the month. Mercury is going to start to slow down, go retrograde, and something is going to change in the relationship sector for you in some way that's going to cause you to start thinking about it in more detail. Okay, because Mercury retrograde is always about reflection. And it has to do with improving your life in some way, because Mercury is going to go back into Virgo. Or it may have to do with your work, okay, your day-to-day work, or even your health. In some way, those are connected. And for everyone, it's going to be different. Now, while you're thinking about this change or whatever it is in relationships, it's going to spawn a lot of that spiritual transformation, because the lunar eclipse then happens on the 8th, 4 days after the Mercury retrograde. Okay. Then mid-month, the Sun and Venus go into your 7th house. So I think there, mid-month, is when things are going to really start to illuminate for you. Something might click, something might start to make sense, or it just might start to happen. And whatever it is, it's illuminating your 7th house. Bringing a lot of joy there, a lot of inspiration, because that's what the Sun's all about, and Venus is there too. Connecting, okay, so connecting to relationships. And then on the 23rd, there's the solar eclipse happening in that 7th house, which means something new. A lot of you I can see forming some new beginnings, new relationships, both new relationships, people that you just meet, but also developing a new beginning with current relationships. And it's very faded because these eclipses are associated with the nodes, and in this case this solar eclipse has to do with the north node, which has to do with fate and new beginnings in the fate area. It's destiny, something changing in terms of your destiny. So whatever it is, know that it's very important for the overall big picture of your life and the direction that you're moving in. Okay, it's very powerful, very transformative. But there's the sense that the Sun is in there. So there's that sense of enthusiasm, excitement, and connectivity also with Venus. So that's why I feel like it's definitely involving, new and existing relationships, but in a sense of joy and excitement and compatibility and getting together and sharing and being creative, and perhaps a lot of you even romantic. Okay, it could be a very romantic time. But it's in all relationships, okay, in all areas. But it could be, in this case, one particular person, or perhaps your whole overall idea of relationships in general. Okay, but that's big. This is the big. We make the Sun, Venus, the eclipse happening in there, Mercury retrograde in there. This is a lot of activity in that 7th house. And it all has to do with something to do with what you're thinking about, what you need to mull over and reconsider, okay, and put some more reflection into that area of your life early on in the month. Then starting to find the joy and passion and what you enjoy in relationships or in a relationship, wanting to connect there, and then something very powerful really changing you. And it's going to changing you big time, but it's taking place in the 7th house area for you. Okay, that's reading the energies all together. Now we've also got Mars, which is your ruler, playing a very important role, always does. And he's going to be going into your 9th house on the 18th of this month. Okay, so mid-month, right around that same time, the Sun goes into the 7th. Like that mid-month period, it's almost like you're going to transform. That's really what I'm getting the feeling of, because you're in the 8th house of transformation, and then you're going into that 9th house, which is coming out of the ashes essentially and widening your horizons. So mid-month, it's almost like something just opens up, or just opens up your whole world, your whole perspective of your path, of your, in this case, destiny and everything. Just kind of Sagittarius, your ruler in Sagittarius, just like makes it available, makes it open, and helps you take a step back and see the big picture. So that's really what I'm getting a sense of. I see a lot of spiritual transformation for you guys, certainly this month. And it's really enlivening you and creating lots of new beginnings and a new path, essentially, with Sagittarius. Now, your ruler, Mars, is also involved in a grand trine this month. Okay, and the grand trines involving Jupiter in your 4th, and that south node, and Uranus in your 12th. Okay, so it's almost like everything is pointing. I can just looking at your chart, and it looks like everything is pointing towards that Mars throughout the whole month. Sextiles, trines, a lot of those aspects straight to Mars, which is suggesting pointing to it. Okay, so what I see is with Jupiter in your 4th, there's been a lot of help perhaps from family or your past, or just feeling good about the past and family or your roots, or even people associated with your past lives and such. But feeling good about your feelings, okay, your anchor. Okay, and that's Jupiter in your 4th house really providing that, or feeling good about the home. Whatever that is, it's supporting these positive changes, these transformations for you. Now, all of these changes that have been happening in your 12th house, because a lot of you are having a lot of changes in your house of spirituality, okay? New changes, new beginnings, new perspectives, lots of intuition developing. Uranus in the 12th is very intuitive. All that stuff, the dream space, intuition, whatever it is, also supporting that change in direction for you this month. Okay, very powerful, very transformative. All right, guys. Now, I've decided to draw an oracle card for this monthly video. It's just astrology oracle. It's just essentially me opening up to Spirit to see what area Spirit wants more attention for you guys. All right, so I've already shuffled the cards. Let's see what we've got. Okay, Aquarius. All right, so Spirit is saying that there is certainly an emphasis for you here in terms of Aquarius. So let's look at that. All right, because the South Node is conjuncting Uranus, and there's a lot of that, like I was saying, changes to your spirituality. But in terms of Aquarius, we have Neptune and Chiron there, okay? And there's positive sextiles now with Neptune and Chiron to Sagittarius from Aquarius. All right, and so what this is signifying is freedom, okay? And service. Aquarius is about the angelic realms and stepping into your higher self. And, You know what? That's exactly what it looks like. It looks like you guys are going to be stepping into your higher selves this month. Okay, and it's very healing because Chiron is in that 11th house. It's very spiritual because Neptune's in that 11th house. And it's about going with the flow. And I think when you guys go with the flow, all right, I think this is what it's telling me. When you go with the flow, these transformations are going to naturally happen. And you're going to notice a great sense of freedom in this. And essentially that freedom is you embodying and becoming a better or a stronger connection to your higher self. And I think a lot of you are really stepping into your higher selves, certainly this month, and creating a lot of freedom. And that when that horizon opens up, you know, mid-month for the second half of the month, that's tremendously freeing as well. All right, so embrace your true self, embrace your unique self, your quirks, your what you need for your freedom, your individuality, you know, whatever it is, be yourself, I think is really what the message is. Go with the flow, and that's going to really support all these changes for you guys. All right, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in and subscribe for my daily, weekly, and monthly horoscopes. All right, guys, I wish you the best, and I'll see you next time.